Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to create the life that you deserve and desire? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate if there is anything that helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy for your recent past, current energy, and immediate future. And then we'll dive deeper into the messages with tarot as we progress with the reading. So let's start with overall energy for your recent past. Oh my goodness. Cannot get a handle on these cards. Overall energy for Taurus's recent past. Is that okay? Turned all the way around. I was trying to figure it out. Hold your vision. Don't let your past hold you back. Nothing will come of this situation. Okay. You have or had an idea for something, a goal. I don't know exactly what it is, whether it's like some sort of outcome. Success in a career, a relationship, or the type of relationship that you deserve. And I feel like you've been through a lot of things, maybe even especially recently, that have made you feel more and more as if this dream, this vision that you have is impossible or is very out of reach. And I feel like with this, don't let your past hold you back. It's definitely this message of not letting what you've been through dictate where you go from here. Now, that's incredibly difficult to do or to not do, I guess. We have a tendency to expect or to see our future through the lens of what we've experienced, but that can really get in our way sometimes because then we start to limit ourselves to what we have experienced. When what we have experienced is no indication of where we can go or what's truly possible. So it's almost like some sort of dream or goal or vision being reborn. Now, this nothing will come of this situation card is more of like a if you don't try, or like if you don't go for it, or like if you don't believe in it. It's almost like the only thing that can hold you back is you. But it's not obviously that easy because no one tries to hold themselves back. So I feel like, there's probably been some turbulence. There's probably been a lot of setbacks. But it's almost like allowing some sort of goal or vision or dream to be reborn. So where is Taurus at right now? What does Taurus need to know about their current energy? If nothing ever changes, nothing ever changes. A new start is coming. Your commitment is being tested and adjustments are required. So there's some sort of new path opening up for you. But it's going to require you to, well, first of all, recognize it, which is we'll definitely dive into like what that really means, but also to go for it. Because I feel like, maybe you've been stuck in a similar or in a situation or a reality for a while, waiting for things to change, waiting for things to happen, waiting for better to come along. And we've all been there. But it feels like this energy is about getting out of the energy of waiting and stepping into the energy of doing, of creating change, of making decisions that maybe you've been avoiding or putting off, or just haven't really wanted to make it all, and allowing yourself to take advantage of like this new path. Now, I don't necessarily feel like the path is clear for you, meaning you might not know where that's going to lead, but I do feel like you know that like where you've been and what you've been experiencing like isn't enough for you, and it's not what you want forever. I feel like it played a role and it's important, but I feel like this is about letting yourself to believe in possibility, especially if you've been through a lot recently, and kind of going for it. Like I said, like taking a step into it. Now this, and this might sound a little vague. Remember, this is overall energy. So we are going to dive deeper into all of this, but you have a new start is coming, right? And it's a new moon card, which is all about new cycles, new beginnings. But what really is jumping out at me is it just kind of looks like a black hole in a way. There's a lot of unknown associated with where you're going right now, or with whatever decision this is asking you to make. But that unknown is necessary to get you to where you're trying to go. You know, so much of the time we have this tendency to choose a familiar hell over the possibility of an unfamiliar heaven. And we don't do it intentionally. We do it because our ego prefers what is predictable. It prefers what it can what it can predict, and it wants to know exactly how things are going to feel and exactly what it's going to be like. So even if there are situations that aren't really aligning with you or aren't really bringing you the level of fulfillment that you're looking for, sometimes we will subconsciously choose to stay in those places, even though we know that we want or deserve better. We'll do it because it honestly, and this is just like flat out the truth, it is easier to stay the same than it is to change. And a lot of people don't change until it is more painful to stay the same than it is to make changes. And that's just human nature for you. Like, that's not saying that you're weak or that you're doing anything wrong or that you should know better. It's just, it is natural to stay where you're at and to be to fall into complacency. And a lot of times we don't even realize that's happening. So basically what I feel like this is saying is the universe is pushing you to dream bigger. It's pushing you to believe in bigger and better things for your life, especially if something I've really noticed tends to be a bit of a trend is, when you're younger, you have these ideas and these visions and these hopes for your life and where you want to go and what you want to experience. But then as you grow older and as you become an adult, you kind of settle in to an experience, into a life, and you forget about those dreams and you forget about those goals. Now, not all of your dreams are going to come true, but they might be replaced with new ones. And, the worst thing that we can do for ourselves is allow ourselves to stay stuck in a reality that we don't love or that doesn't align with our worth because we don't think we can have better. So a lot of times what will happen is the universe will push us into making changes by making where we're at a little bit too painful so that we do decide, okay, I want to change, or I want a new beginning, or I want things to be better. And sometimes it does kind of take the universe stepping in for that to happen. So maybe that is what's happening. Maybe you're making this decision on your own, but I do feel like this is about kind of getting tired with the same old same and being willing to step out of your comfort zone into new, which is honestly, it takes a tremendous amount of strength and a tremendous amount of courage to do that. So what does Taurus need to know moving forward? Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, this is both personal issues reaches a resolution and have faith in your dreams. Okay, so this is both, I think, one of those truths that can be a little bit bittersweet because it's like nothing is yet set in stone. And what I really have learned how I've really learned to take that card is your destiny, your future, your life is entirely up to you. And sometimes, it can feel very out of our control. It feels like, what happens to us is out of our control. And, the things that we go through are out of our control. And that is absolutely true. But despite the things that you've been through, you can still choose to show up for the best life that you wish to have. And sometimes we give up on that, and it's again kind of natural, but believing that there are better situations, better relationships, better jobs, better careers than the ones that we kind of find ourselves settling for, can keep us in the energy of constantly creating it. So the way that I kind of see this is, it's like, it's your choice. You can stay where you're at. You can stay in a familiar hell and situations that don't align with you. We're getting into these deeper truths. Situations that don't align with you or fulfill you or, make you feel good about your life, or you can choose to make changes. And I think so much of the time we do forget that, though, yes, there are a lot of things out of our control, we also have a lot more power than we think. And it's not over what happens to us. It's, first of all, what we're willing to accept or not accept. And second of all, how we're willing to continue to show up despite what we've been through. And that is one of the most beautiful things about being a human, is despite the hardships, despite the challenges, despite all the things going wrong, we can still choose to have faith. We can still choose to believe that things can get better. And yes, it's hard to do, but that's why it takes so much strength and so much courage to continue to show up for yourself, for your dreams, for the life that you desire, despite life kicking you in the ass sometimes. So I really feel like as you're moving forward on this path, you have a lot to look forward to. You have a lot of opportunity should you choose to believe in it, should you choose to go after it. But it really just depends. It's like it's up to you kind of thing, which is ultimately going to come down to whether or not you believe that you're deserving of it and that it's possible for you, which I can tell you with 100% certainty that you are deserving of it. It is possible for you. All right. Overall theme of this reading for Taurus. What does a Taurus need to know in order to move forward in alignment with their higher self? Hair. I feel like this has been a common theme for earth signs right now. And maybe it's just, I've just done earth signs so far for this round of reading. So maybe it's a fully collective energy, but there's just this energy of things being up in the air, just things being so unpredictable and so uncertain right now. And I think that is definitely a common theme right now just for a lot of people, but specifically for earth signs, I keep pulling messages in association with that. And I feel like that's the same for you. Now, I will say that sometimes it takes things being up in the air for us to believe in possibility a little bit more. Sometimes we get stuck in being okay with how things are. And I know I already said a little bit of this, but I'm going to elaborate a little bit more. Sometimes we get a little bit stuck in the way that things are, and the universe will push us into situations that force us to make a change. And that change ends up being for the best because it leads us toward better things. But the actual experience of going through the change kind of sucks. You have this shadow here, really in those moments where we're experiencing change, when we're going through transformation, when we're stepping out of our comfort zone, our shadow side kind of has a tendency to take over. And it's not to say that it's something that you should try to stop necessarily. We all have a shadow side. We all have a traumatized, unhealed, triggered version of us. We do. We have a light side. We have a dark side. You can't have one without the other. We all have things that we love about ourselves. We all have things that we don't. And that's, ultimately what being a human is all about. It's the dichotomy of life. But learning to understand that the fear and the anxiety and the insecurity that comes out whenever things are unpredictable, whenever there's a lot up in the air, it is literally just a natural response. And learning how to have faith in the bigger picture for your life is what is really going to keep you grounded through those times. So as of right now, because you have this relief card, so I feel like this is a spirit's way of saying we're trying to provide you with relief through this reading, because I feel like there is a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, feeling like just kind of this heavy weight in this energy, especially in this current energy. And I feel like knowing that, yes, things might not be where you want them to be, or you might not be where you want to be, but as you're moving forward, you are getting closer to where you desire to be, as long as you keep believing that it's possible. And I will say that is the only thing that can hold us back. I know that there are a lot of arguments that that good things can't happen for everyone, but I think that there are just as many arguments that good things can happen to everyone. And it just comes down to whether or not you believe that you are capable and deserving in all of those things. So, we really are the creators of our destiny, of our life, of our reality. Oh no, this keeps popping off. And the more that we believe in that creation power, the more that we will tap into it. And I think that, again, there are a lot of things that happen in our life that have a tendency to take us out of that power. But the more we choose to step in it, to believe in it, to choose it, the more that we do take that power back. So let's dive in a little bit deeper here, Taurus. Again, I know that was a little bit vague. We were talking about overall energy, but let's see. I just cannot seem to get a handle on these cards today. What does Taurus need to know about this past energy? Yeah. And I felt that from the beginning. So you have this Empress in reverse energy. I think that you have been dealing with situations where and maybe this is past and maybe you're in the midst of change, or maybe you are still dealing with these situations. But dealing with situations where you have been incredibly undervalued and not taken care of. Now, whether that's situations that don't allow you to prioritize yourself or your mental or your emotional well-being, situations that drain you more than fill you up, situations, people, or places that make you feel like you have to shrink yourself in order to fit in, or that make you feel like you have to change who you are or abandon yourself in order to make it work. Whatever it is for you. Yeah, there's the Lovers in reverse, the High Priestess, the World, and then the Eight of Swords in reverse. So whatever it is for you, I feel like the universe has been trying to, for a while, move you out of these spaces and out of these situations. Because, I'm reading the card. Sorry, I'm trying to get better at it. Empress in reverse, Eight of Cups, Four of Pentacles in reverse, Fool, High Priestess, Lovers in reverse, and Eight of Swords in reverse, which is actually my favorite card in tarot, but we'll get to that in a second. It feels like the universe was really pushing you out of certain places that weren't allowing you to thrive, basically. And I will say sometimes we get so stuck in survival and used to survival that we stop believing that anything better or any other way of living is possible, especially if we've just kind of been struggling and surviving our whole life. So this is not blaming you for what you've been through or what you've been experiencing or what your life has been to this point. This is trying to help you understand that despite the things that you've been through, you are still capable of creating the things that you desire, these visions that you have for your life. The Four of Pentacles in reverse can very much be like a rug ripped out from underneath you kind of energy, just a lack of security. And maybe that's why you stayed in certain places, was for security or stability, which a lot of times we crave. So sometimes we'll stay in places that are unfulfilling because, again, they're predictable. They provide us with that sense of security, which can sometimes also be a false sense of security, right? Our ego might find it predictable, but our soul finds it suffocating, or it feels like it can't be free in those places. Now, this Fool card, seeing that with the New Start is Coming card, I feel like all of this is going to be annoying today. All of this is pushing you into a new beginning. When it comes to some sort of situation in your life, or maybe your life as a whole, depending on how resonant this reading is to multiple situations. And I feel like you might not know it, but this has been a very heavily guided period of your life. I think that as you're moving out of these old spaces, because that's what it feels like, just like spaces maybe that you've outgrown or that don't align with who you're becoming, or that don't align, maybe you needed them to be in those spaces for a while, but now they no longer align with what you desire. It's not to say you've been in the wrong situations or the wrong places, but I just feel like it's getting yourself to recognize that you're deserving and capable of more. and choosing to believe in that so deeply that you don't allow yourself to settle for anything less. And that is, to me, why this Eight of Swords in reverse, this is my favorite card in tarot. I had it on my vision board for a while because it's breaking ourselves out mentally of the limiting beliefs that we have, so we can break ourselves out physically from the limited reality that aligns with those limiting beliefs. So sometimes, we don't realize that we've acquired certain beliefs about ourselves in our life that, tell us that we can't have the things that we deserve and desire. And we look back at our past and we say, and look at all this proof that I have. I can't have the relationships that I desire because look at all these failed relationships. I can't have the career that I desire because look at all these failures that I've had. And that is where we can start to really get ourselves in trouble, because your past is not a reflection of what's possible for you. It's a reflection of what you believe is possible for you. So, trying to address those things from within, because as above, so below, as within, so without, right? Trying to address those things from within will help you break out of those spaces. It's hard though, because the unpredictability that comes with stepping out of what is familiar and into the unknown is really, really scary. It's scary for anybody. I don't care who you are. It's a scary, scary thing. But on the other side of that fear is the possibility. So let's see, Taurus, where you're at right now. A new start is coming. You still have this adjustments are required card. So let's see, what does Taurus need to know about their current energy? Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the Emperor. But then there's the Tower in reverse. So you're avoiding something, a decision, a change. Okay, so the Four of Cups. Okay. All right, that's going to sound funny to say because King of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry, I have a lot coming through here. Okay. So you're focusing, I'm going to say this and I'm going to elaborate on it because you're going to be like, what? You're focusing too much on logic. Not that you shouldn't be logical about your life and about situations, but also pairing that with the understanding that you are fully supported and guided on the path to the things that you deserve and desire is important. Finding that balance, because right now, especially if you drive yourself too far into logic and you're dealing with limiting beliefs, you're going to say there's no way forward because I don't currently at this moment see a way forward, or I don't see a path to success, or I don't see an opportunity. So I'm not going to start looking at jobs that align more with the life that I deserve and desire, and I'm going to stay where I'm at because I don't see how it's possible. I'm not going to leave this relationship that isn't serving me because I don't see how I could ever have anything better. Sometimes when we focus too much on what we are able to currently see in this moment, we might be, again, missing the bigger picture. And this Emperor card is all about taking control of your life and stepping in to your power and saying, I am capable of creating the life that I deserve and desire, and I am not going to let anything hold me back from that. Because here is the honest truth. And honestly, I wish somebody would have told me this way long before I learned it, but I learned it at the time I needed to, is that if you are going to look for things that make the dreams that you have or the life that you desire feel impossible, if you are on the lookout for obstacles and challenges, you are always going to find them. You are always going to find reasons why you can't get there, why you're not enough, why it's not possible, why it's going to be too hard, why you don't have the money, why you don't have this and you don't have that. You will always find them. Always, always, always. And the more that you search for them, the more you're going to hold yourself back from taking the steps in that direction, because you're going to say, well, it's not possible. Look at all this, again, proof that I have. But a lot of that proof, quote unquote, that you have is coming from what you've experienced in the past. You're saying, based on what I've been through, here's what I expect. But what if you were to step outside of that belief? What if you were to believe that the universe is supporting you on the path to your dreams and that all you have to do is show up for them and allow the universe to show up for you, right? There's so many ways that we can look at our life. And trust me, it sounds cheesy and it sounds naive, and I get that, okay? I absolutely get that. And I remember when I was getting told these things, when I was really starting on this journey, and I was like, this literally just sounds like a fairy tale. But there is so much magic in this world, and the universe really is there to support support you. And the more that you look for reasons that that is the case, that you are supported and that it is possible, you're gonna find those reasons too. So your perspective is going to immediately and very directly affect whether or not you're going to go after certain things. So you might be avoiding certain changes because you're saying, well, I don't see a different, I don't see a different path. I don't see this, I don't see that. But taking the first step in the direction might actually open up the doors that you will never find if you are staying exactly where you're at. So that's what this is really about, is saying, and again, I said it in the very beginning, and I feel like it can sound a little bit harsh, but if nothing ever changes, then nothing ever changes. If we don't take steps to make changes in our life is always going to stay the same. If we don't take the steps to move forward in the direction of the life that we desire, we are going to stay in the one that we are living. And I think that, again, there's so many, well, there's this and there's that and there's this, and all of those things are valid, okay? Your worries, your fears, your anxieties, the things that feel out of your control, absolutely valid. But there are also always solutions. It's just that oftentimes our fear and our anxiety that we've, that has been that we've internalized due to what we've experienced, we start to believe that more than the possibility. And it's a natural, again, very, very natural reaction to having been through a lot. But this is the universe's way of saying that doesn't define you. That doesn't define you. It doesn't define your life. It doesn't define your potential unless you let it. And I've watched a lot of people let it, and I've watched a lot of people overcome it. And it's incredibly challenging to do, but you also have so much more support and strength and capability than I feel like you're even giving yourself credit for right now, Taurus. I feel like you are selling yourself short in so many ways. And I feel like that's what this is really about, is stepping into that power and saying, okay, if I could sit here and focus all day long on all of the ways that I can't have the things that I deserve and desire, I'm going to learn to prove to myself that I can't have the things that I deserve and desire. But if I choose to focus on all of the reasons why I can, I'm going to start to prove to myself that I can. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? The Hermit, ooh, the Magician, the World in reverse, ooh, okay, and the Knight of Wands. Wait, that's the World upright, and the Knight of Wands. Okay, your power comes from within, not outside of you. Okay, I actually just did a workshop. It was at the very beginning of this year, and it was all about reclaiming your power to manifest the life that you desire. And one of the biggest things that I talked about in it was that we often wait for a time in the future. Okay, there's nothing else. Yeah, okay, there's the Ten of Cups. We often wait for a time in the future to take action or believe that we are worthy or that we're deserving. You are your most powerful self right now. You always have been. In every single stage of your life, you have always been your most powerful self. But that powerful version of you is hidden underneath the reasons that you believe that you are not capable, deserving, and supported. And the more that we say, well, I'm going to make a change when I do this, or I'm going to be deserving of love when I lose 10 pounds, or, I'm going to be deserving of money when I work myself endlessly and I have no more energy to give to myself. Like we believe these things and we say, I have to give and prove and be more than I am in order to be able to do the thing, to have the things that I deserve and desire, and to do the things that I want. And the secret, the absolute secret to that is no, you do not. In fact, the more that we wait for the most perfect, most deserving version of ourselves to arise, the more that the future that we desire is always going to be in the future, because we are not going to ever become a perfect version of ourselves. We are never going to become somebody who is flawless. We are never going to become somebody who has it all figured out. We are never going to become somebody who doesn't make mistakes. That version of you, it doesn't exist. It's not. You are a human being. You are here to be flawed. You're here to make mistakes, and you're here to learn from all of it. So, I feel like if you're looking at your future, you're looking at making a change, and you're saying, well, I'm not ready yet, or I'm not this yet, or I'm not that yet, you are never going to be those things. And I don't mean that in the sense that you can't become all that you want to be, because you absolutely can, but you're not confident until you take the steps. You're not gonna believe you're deserving until you start to show up believing that you're deserving. The things that you're wanting to believe about yourself in your life are not just gonna happen. They're gonna happen through action. They're gonna happen through making change. They're gonna happen because you show up believing that you are all those things. And that's where a lot of people get it confused. They wait for the feeling to take the action, but the action creates the feeling. People wait to feel good before they do that thing, but doing that thing is what's gonna make you feel good. So whatever it is that you're waiting for, whatever you're waiting to feel, whatever you're waiting to, for to happen, maybe it's never going to come. Maybe that comes because you start making the change. Maybe you'll never feel deserving of the relationship that you deserve and desire until you start walking away from the ones that don't align with what you deserve and desire, and start getting clear on what it is that you deserve and desire. Maybe you will never feel capable of being successful and building your own business until you do it. So much of the time it's like, well, I could never do that. Well, why not? Why not you? I think a lot of the times people go, well, why me? Like, why would that happen to me? Why not you? Start asking yourself that question, because I'm just literally seeing it with the Magician, the Knight of Wands, and this World card. Your life is so much more like, there's so much more potential that I think you are currently able to see, but you will never reach that potential if you continue to stay where you're at. And I think that you know that, and I feel like you feel this push towards new. And if you're embracing that and you're moving through it with the courage and the belief that you are worthy and deserving of good things, which is absolutely hard. Okay, it's not an easy thing. You're gonna create it. That's what this nothing is yet set in stone is saying. The only thing that can stand in your way is you. The only person that is in charge of your future life is you. And the more that you recognize that, and a lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people want to hear that everything's just going to happen. It's going to show up at your doorstep. And I know a lot of readings play on that belief, but that's not my style. Never has been. The things that you deserve and desire are possible for you. They can happen. But you showing up for those things and making the difficult decisions and believing in your worth and believing in your capability in order to make it happen is going to be a prerequisite of those things coming to fruition. And I'm speaking to a collective right now that is in this period where you have this opportunity to really embrace that. Embrace making a change, embracing new beginnings, embracing stepping into your comfort or out of your comfort zone and into your most powerful version of yourself. And not when you get there, not when you're finally this or that or the other thing, but now. Because you're never going to be this or that or the other thing if you're just waiting for it to happen. You're going to be those things when you start showing up as those things. All right, Taurus. I feel like Spirit had some tough love in this reading for you, but I also feel like it's also coming from this place of compassion and understanding and knowing that these things aren't easy, but also knowing at the same time that you are deserving of all of the things that you do desire and capable. So we're going to hop on over to the extended. The extended is going to focus on what you can do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So kind of focusing more on tangible advice. This is what you need to know. Extended is what you can do. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Taurus, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Taurus.